Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel and thanks for watching. Today I'm going to highlight three things. First, it's about the Posbar together with BookTubeID. The second one is about the reading challenge. I'm going to host a reading challenge in July. And the third one is about the giveaway winners. So without further ado, let's get started. For the first highlight, what is the most unexpected book that you've ever read? The first book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I heard the hype about this book like years ago, but I read his other works, and then I think in January I read The Alchemist, but maybe my expectation was too high, so it turned out like a disappointment for me. Too preachy, And then the author tried to shove his idealism to you, and I don't like it at all. But I like the journey, and then the style of writing, it's good, but I just don't like to be preached, that's all. Yep. The second one is The Storied Life of A.J. Victory. I thought it's just another boring book, but it turned out something great, something that the story really touched my heart. And then it's funny. The characters are very relatable and then very real. So I gave it a 5-star. So it's really recommended. And if you haven't read that book, I suggest that you read that book because it's really good. Okay, now we're going to talk about the second highlight. So the news is, it's good news because I'm going to host a reading challenge in July. Actually, it's not the first time for me to host a reading challenge. I did it like years ago when I was still active blogging, but not anymore. So now I think it's the time for me to host a reading challenge. Just like we all know, these past months have been very hard and challenging, and I just want to have fun and read fun books, that's all. So let's start with the prompts. So it's like this. So every week we have a prompt. So in July, because it has like 5 months, so we're going to have 5 different prompts. So don't worry because the reading challenge will end in the 5th of August. So let's start with the prompts. Okay, for the first prompt, read a funny book. So anything funny, either it's comedy, fiction, non-fiction, chiclets, or whatever funny, just read it, okay? Because I believe funny books can be a good mood booster, right? Okay, so for the second prompt, you have to read a book set during summer. Whatever books set in summer, just read it. For prompt number 3, you have to read a book set in your favorite country. So if you have books set in your favorite country, in Japan, Australia, Scandinavian countries, or wherever, just read it. For prompt number 4, it's very easy. Read a book from your TBR. And then for the bonus, the last prompt is read a book with summer colors on the cover. What is summer colors? I think it depends. So it can be like warm colors or cool colors. So if you have time, just browse through Google and you can find the summer colors. Okay, I have prepared my TBR for the challenge. So for the first prompt, read a funny book. This one is the book that I'm going to read. Indonesian. So I think in English, the title is Funny in Iranian. Yeah, because I have this book and I've been keeping it for too long, and yeah, I'm going to read this one. For the second prompt, set during summer, I'm going to read this one, and I found a book buddy, Orinthia Lee. I think she's going to read this with me. I heard a lot about this book, and then I plan to read this book next month, just like I explained in my last post that I buddy read with my friend Zelly. So this one is a crossover with the challenge that I'm doing with Zelly. So if you plan to read this book and you want to buddy read with me, please drop your email in the reply box. Okay? For the third prompt, set in your favorite country. I'm going to read this one. So it's a new release by Penerbit Haru, and actually I found a book buddy to read this book, but I'm so sorry I forgot her username. She's on Twitter. So if you plan to read this book on the third week of July, please feel free to drop your contact. If you plan to read this book, please feel free to drop your email. For prompt number 4, read a book from your TBR. I'm going to read this book. So I've kept this book for too long on my TBR, and I plan to read it next month. If you have this book and you plan to read it together, please feel free to drop your contact email so we can buddy read this book. For prompt number 5, it's actually a bonus prompt because it's the last month of July and it's too short. So I'm going to stretch it until August 5th. You can read a book with summer colors on the cover. So I picked this book. I just bought this book yesterday from Perry Plus crazy discount. And then actually I have another one. It's a series. So I bought 2 books for 45,000 rupiah. Very cheap. Bloody cheap. So I'm going to read this one because I also heard about the hype of this book. It's really fun to read, and then, you know, there's a mystery in it. So I can't wait to read this book. Now it's time for me to announce the winners from my first post. Thank you for joining. And then I was using the random org to find the winners. Okay, for the first winner, the username is Sophia O. You win this book. Congratulations, and please drop your email on the reply box. The second winner is, drum roll. Congratulations, Agi Eka. I'm going to send this book to you, and please drop your email address on the reply box. I think that's it because I've been talking for too long in this video, and Let's have fun next month and see you. Bye. Just because the last month. Oh my god. So it's time for me for the first highlight. So I first book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I